there are still days where I think about the narcissist pretty much the whole day. And I've gotten thankfully to the point where it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't really bother me for a lot of reasons. A big reason is I finally seen through the game the narcissist played with me. Another reason, they discarded me so brutally the last time I saw them that it really forced me into a scenario where I just couldn't take it anymore. But don't let yourself get to that point like I did. Don't let yourself get humiliated. Don't let yourself go through all these traumatic experiences because it was awful. I couldn't sleep. I would have nightmares. When you think about any problem all day, when something is constantly stressing you, it means it's an issue your mind is trying to resolve. And the narcissist hits us double hard because they unfortunately imprint onto our nervous system, right? Like our whole brain, our nervous system, all of it is connected into one thing. And words, actions, trauma, and stress, those things have or can have at least a very long lasting impact on your body. And I'm not trying to diminish anybody's struggles, but just like someone who goes to war and they see very traumatic things, it imprints on our body. And our body, even though at the time you can't really tell, right? There's a lot of things that happen within us that we aren't aware of in the moment, but the stress, it accumulates within you. We tend to dissociate. That's why we end up binge eating. That's why we end up drinking. I remember I was like there was a point where I was so depressed and down because of what happened between me and the narcissist. I was drinking every day. I was doing all the bad things you could think of to not think about the pain and suffering I was going through. And what is that? That's us trying to dissociate from the world. That's us trying to escape reality because we believed we were in one place. We believed we were in a happy loving relationship with a normal person, but our world was shattered. This person revealed themselves to be a fake, that they were just acting kind and pretending to love us. And this doesn't just hurt our emotions on a heartbreak type of level. We feel our body makes us think about this person constantly and constantly, and it seems like the rumination will never stop. But that's because our body is trying to make sure we learn this lesson. The narcissist is like a giant hole that we stepped into and we broke our leg, and we feel dumb, right? Like how could we just not see this huge hole? It was so obvious. But that's just life. Sometimes we are so set in the direction we're going in, we aren't paying attention to the very obvious dangers in front of us. We fell in that narcissistic hole, and now our brain is like, and this has probably happened to you in the past. Any one that comes to mind is most people when they were a kid, they probably burned their hand somewhere on the stove or something, and you learned very quickly, and you never put your hand on the stove again, pretty much, right? That's what a it's the narcissistic stove. We got burned by this person, and our mind is trying to make sure it gets deeply implanted into us, that we learn our lesson, because this is dangerous. Some of us are very lucky to get out of this alive. Some people don't make it out of relationships with narcissists. It's something I repeat all the time in videos like this, but it's really sad when I hear people say they met a narcissist at 20 and now they're 70 and they just broke up with them. But you know what? It's never too late. Even if you spent the last 50 years, unfortunately, with a narcissist, which I would say are 50 wasted years, even if this person only lives 5 more years, they make it to 75, those 5 years without the narcissist are going to be way better than those last 50 years with the narcissist. It's never too late to stop thinking about this person. It's even if you've been married to them, even if whatever they've done to you, it's never too late to come back to the person you used to be. And it's going to take time. The longer you don't talk to this person, the more distant that memory is going to be. The more you just sit there and face it, because that's what I was doing. I didn't want to face it. I was like, I don't want to, I was still in that stage where I was in love with them, and I didn't want to deal with the fact that this person that I thought I loved, at least, was a complete total stranger to me, right? This like this I don't recognize you anymore. So I wallowed in my misery, but as soon as I stopped feeling sorry for myself, as soon as I faced it, and I know it sucks. I know it's not gonna feel good, but and it didn't feel good. It just but as soon as I sat there and faced it and just accepted that this person maybe never loved me, and they definitely don't love me right now. They've proven it like, time and time again by their actions. That's when I started to stop thinking about them all day. That's when I started to get better because as soon as you accept what the narcissist did to you, and even if you want to pretend, if you want to just pretend that they did love you, the fact is the way they've treated you right now, the person they are, the person that discarded you, the person that traumatized you, that person doesn't love you. Staying with someone who abuses you, even though they say they love you or they show they love you somehow, I'd still say that's not a situation I would want to be in, and it's not a situation I would tell anyone that's close to me that they should stay in. But at this point, I'm not bothered when they pop into my mind because I think those are just friendly reminders from my mind, the universe, that this person happened. The absolute truth about how you stop ruminating and thinking about this person is you chose to give this person love, and you have the ability to choose to take that away from them.